শ্রী অদ্বৈত গদাধর শিবাসাদি গৌর ভক্ত বৃন্দ। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এই দাসে তৃণাপেক্ষায়তি হীনা। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া তৃণাপেক্ষায়তি। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এই দাসে তৃণাপেক্ষায়তি হীনা। গুরুদেব সকল সঘনে বল দিয়া করো, সকল সঘনে সকল সঘনে বল দিয়া করো। নিজ মানে স্পিয়াহীনা, নিজ মানে স্পিয়াহীনা, নিজ মানে স্পিয়াহীনা, নিজ মানে স্পিয়া। সকল সঘনে বল দিয়া করো, নিজ মানে স্পিয়াহীনা, নিজ মানে স্পিয়াহীনা। সকল সঘনে বল দিয়া নিজ মানে স্পিয়াহীনা, নিজ মানে স্পিয়া। সকলে সম্মান করিতে শকতি দেহনাথ যথা যথ। সকলে সম্মান করিতে শকতি গুরুদেব সকলে সম্মান করিতে শকতি দেহনাথ যথা যথ। সকলে সম্মান করিতে শকতি দেহনাথ যথা। আমি তবে তো গাহিব হরি নাম সুখে, আমি তবে তো গাহিব হরি নাম সুখে। অপরাধ হবে হত, অপরাধ হবে হত আমায় তবে তো গাহিব হত, অপরাধ হবে। কবে হেন কৃপা লোভিয়ায় যান কৃতার্থ হইবে নাথ। গুরুদেব কবে হেন কৃপা গুরুদেব কবে হেন কৃপা লোভিয়ায় যান কৃতার্থ হইবে নাথ। সংসারে কিছু নাহি পাই তোমার করুণা সার গুরুদেব। গুরুদেব যোগ্যতা বিচারে কিছু নাহি পাই তোমার করুণা সার গুরুদেব যোগ্যতা বিচারে। তোমার করুণা না হইলে কাদিয়া কাদিয়া তোমার করুণা না হইলে কাদিয়া কাদিয়া প্রাণ না রাখিব আর প্রাণ না রাখিব আর তোমার করুণা না হইলে তোমার করুণা না হইলে কাদিয়া কাদিয়া প্রাণ না রাখিব আর প্রাণ না রাখিব আর তোমার করুণা না হইলে প্রাণ না রাখিব আর প্রাণ না রাখিব। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এই দাসে তৃণাপেক্ষায়তিহীনা। গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া আর এইবার আমায় দয়া করো ও পতিত পাবন শ্রী গুরুদেব এইবার আমায় দয়া করো। পতিত পাবন শ্রী গুরুদেব এইবার আমায় তোমার দাসের অনুদাস জেনে এইবার আমায় দয়া করো। দাসের অনুদাস জেনে এইবার আমায় তোমার দাসের অনুদাস জেনে এইবার আমায় দয়া করো। দাসের অনুদাস জেনে পরম দয়াল শ্রী গুরুদেব এইবার আমায় দয়া করো। পরম দয়াল শ্রী গুরুদেব 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 জয় গুরুদেব 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 গুরু গুরুদেব। মহারাজ আসুন
আপনি একটা গাই একটা গান
हरे कृष्णा। ওহে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর, এ দাসে করুণা করি। ওহে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর, এ দাসে করুণা করি। দিয়া পদ ছায়া শোধ হে আমায়, দিয়া পদ ছায়া, দিয়া পদ ছায়া শোধ হে আমায়, দিয়া পদ ছায়া শোধ হে আমায়। তোমার চরণ ধরি, আমি তোমার চরণ ধরি। ওহে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর, হে দাসে করুণা করি। ওহে চাইবে গো তুমি ছয় দোষ সুধি, ছয় গুণ দেহ দাসে। চাইবে গো তুমি ছয় দোষ সুধি, ছয় গুণ দেহ দাসে। ছয় সত সঙ্গ দেহ হে আমায়, ছয় সত সঙ্গ দেহ হে আমায়। বসেছি সঙ্গে রয়াসে, আমি বসেছি সঙ্গে রয়াসে। ওহে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর, হে দাস করুণা করি। একাকী আমায় নাকি পায়ে বল, হরি নাম সংকীর্তনে। একাকী হরি নাম সংকীর্তনে, একাকী আমায় নাগি পায়ে বল, হরি নাম সংকীর্তনে। একাকী আমায় হরি নাম সংকীর্তনে। তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া, তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া, তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া, তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া। দেহ কৃষ্ণ নাম ধনে আমায়, দেহ কৃষ্ণ নাম ধনে। ওহে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর, হে দাসে করুণা করি। কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো, তোমার শক্তি আছে। কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার, কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো, তোমার শক্তি আছে। কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার, কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি আমি তো কাঙ্গাল বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর আমি তো কাঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি আমি তো কাঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি ধাই তব পাছে পাছে ধাই তব পাছে পাছে ওহে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর হে দাসে করুণা করি আমায় দিয়া পদ ছায়া শোধ গে আমায় দিয়া পদ ছায়া গুরুদেব 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 আমার দিয়া পদ ছায়া শোধ গে আমায় দিয়া পদ ছায়া শোধ গে আমায় তোমার চরণ ধরে তোমার চরণ ধরে ওহে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর কে দাসে করুণা করি বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর কে দাসে করুণা জয় জয় গুরুদেব 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 জয় জয় গুরুদেব 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 প্রভুপাদ 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 নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল
टाइम है 15 मिनट टाइम है चिंता अभी तो 15 ही हुआ 15 मिनट और
হরে কৃষ্ণ এবার করুণা করো বৈষ্ণব গোসাই કેહું ના वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर, वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर, वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर, वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव हो गया टाइम और भी है क्या कहूँ पाँच मिनट में क्या करें महामंत्र कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ यशोदानंदन यशोदानंदन गोपीजन वल्लभ गोपीजन वल्लभ यशोदानंदन
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram. Jaya Lalita Visakha, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Lalita Visakha, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Lalita Visakha, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. पिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हो गया टाइम।
The Munis I hate, as you well know. Here is a man, though, who is not a Muni. He's Gopal Krishna Goswami, and he is the head of the Hare Krishnas in Canada and in India. Now, Gopal, what do I call you? Gopal?
Yeah, that's okay. Gopal Krishna Swami or
Goswami?
Gopal Krishna
Are
Maharaj.
you an honest-to-goodness guru?
Yes, a guru means one who gives spiritual guidance. So that is my business, to give spiritual guidance to society.
I see. And you really, all the Krishnas are really cop-outs. You take no part in the practical life of the country. You merely go around dressed in your saffron robes, chanting and selling things.
I would like to say that the people like you are cop-outs. In other words, the natural position of the living entity is to serve God. So when one doesn't serve God, he becomes a cop-out.
I see.
In fact, I think we're looking at things the other way around.
I thought that Krishna consciousness came from India. Are all your followers in Western Canada non-Indians?
I would say 99%.
But any time I meet them now,
I would say 99%
9%.
of our congregation around the world outside India consists of people from that part of the world.
I kind of like you. You're a nice guy. You're only 37. But every time I meet any of your followers, such as the two you have with you this morning, they all seem rather glazed and brainwashed. Is Hare Krishna a method of brainwashing people into abject serfdom and slavery?
Actually, I'd like to correct your understanding. We don't brainwash people. In fact, from the very birth, the media and the educational system, the society, the relatives, brainwash the living entity to forget his relationship with God.
True.
So what we are doing actually is just helping undo that brainwashing by presenting the real truth to the individual.
All right, if I become a Hare Krishna, I must accept Krishna consciousness, I must understand it, I must give up all material things, I must take a vow of poverty, and I must stand around in the streets chanting Hare, Hare, Hare.
You don't have to stand on the
But
streets.
you do it all the time.
Not all of
You
us.
block the traffic on the streets.
We
You
don't
behave abominably on the streets.
No, we don't block the traffic. When was the last time you saw traffic jammed due to our chanting?
Gone to the Hudson Bay.
When? Did the traffic get blocked?
No, but you can't even walk by the corner without being pestered by people
No,
in
not anymore.
saffron robes.
Not anymore. In fact, when we are out on Saffron Road by Hudson's Bay, we're giving people away free literature. Who is standing in downtown Vancouver and giving out free literature?
The Watchtower and the Krishna.
They don't give it free. They request a donation, but we give our literature free.
Now-
And we are also distributing cookies free.
You give me away cookies free.
Sure.
Tell me this, though. Do you have some relationship to the Munis, Sun Young Moon, who has built up a massive multi-billion-dollar empire selling things?
We have no relationship with him or his philosophy at all.
What do you think of the Munis?
Our relationship is with the Supreme Lord Krishna. We follow the Vedic scriptures that has its roots in India. Regarding the Munis, we do not think it's a bona fide movement. It's not based upon authentic scriptures. Religion has to be based upon a bona fide scripture. Scriptures defined as the words of God.
All right, now how do you get me into the Munis? And tell me how you brainwash me so that I will accept this poverty and this humble existence in a material
We don't
society.
want to brainwash you. We would just wish that the brainwashing that you've experienced from your birth is freed. That's all.
Now-
We don't want to brainwash you. We want to present the truth. We don't run commercials of the commercials like you do, trying to brainwash people to buy a product. We are just humbly begging people to understand the real reality.
That's another thing. You beg on the streets. You beg at the airports. I've seen you begging and begging and begging.
When did you see us last
Oh.
begging on the streets?
In the last few years, I must have
Well,
approached the dozen
you
times.
have the Vancouver Sun article in front of you.
But I
and
don't
that's-
believe what I read in the Vancouver
Okay,
Sun.
fine.
You tell me. Have you
Okay.
stopped begging on the streets?
Yes, we have.
Finished.
Yes, we have.
Do you sell pamphlets on the streets?
No, we don't. We give away pamphlets now because our sources of deriving income now have improved. We have a very wide congregation that gives us donations. Many members of our society do professional assignments. And our society is maturing and growing day by day. Even in Canada.
Interesting point. Donations. If I am employed materially and
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, how much of my income must I give to you? What is the tithe?
There's no minimum, there's no maximum. It all
10%.
depends. It all depends on one's realization.
I must tithe what income I have to your
Well,
society.
I'll tell you one thing. The members of our society donate on a voluntary basis. There's no compulsion.
How much pocket money do they get?
Who?
Your people who live in your communes.
They don't get as penny as pocket money. In fact, they have taken a vow of poverty. They've decided to dedicate their whole lives for the propagation of God consciousness, which is the need of the society. You should be using your television to encourage the propagation of God consciousness, because this is the biggest problem in society today.
But somebody's got to work. Somebody's got to build the hospitals. Somebody's got to make the inventions.
Fine, go ahead and...
Somebody's got to supply the services. You take all the advantages, but you do nothing practically to help society.
In fact, we take all the advantages and we are rendering the biggest gift to society, giving them God consciousness, giving them the process by which they can realize peace, the process by which they can become happy. The problem in society, take for example Vancouver or any society, everything good is on the decline. Everything evil is on the increase. Why? Due to a lack of God consciousness. God or Krishna has to be brought in the center of our lives.
You're not suggesting to me, Gopal, that the state of evil in the society is any worse today than it was 100 years ago.
It is. Take for example the government statistics.
The what?
Statistics. The crime rate has gone up now compared to 100 years ago?
Depends who does the statistics. I could do them again and it would go down by 100 years ago. But tell me this, how many times do heartbroken parents, serious question, heartbroken
parents,
broken heart, heartbroken parents come to you and say, for God's sake, free my youngster from your clutches?
You'll be surprised, not too often, and even when they do come and they see how happy the children are, they begin to reconsider what they have been thinking.
Okay, I have more questions, and I might have time for a few calls to our delightful Hare Krishna man, Gopal Krishna Goswami. Excuse my cough. After the break. All that my friend Gopal Krishna Goswami wants to talk about is philosophy, but I want to talk about practical things. Do you ban drugs?
Completely.
Do you ban all premarital sex?
Yes, we do.
Do you eat meat?
No.
You regard women as inferior to men?
Not at all. I'm surprised why the media keeps bringing up this point again and again. The women have a role to play, the men have a role to play, the children have a role to play, and they're all playing their respective roles, just like within your TV station. You have different people doing different assignments based on their abilities, isn't it? Why isn't everybody else cheering the show?
Dear old Rick Houston quotes you as saying...
You just told me that you didn't believe in this article of the Vancouver
I believe
Sun.
what I want to believe when I want to believe it.
But he just told me 5 minutes ago.
When I want to believe it, I believe it. You say women are intellectually inferior because their brains weigh less?
We believe this has been misrepresented.
You don't say that.
No, I said something different. I said we've heard about that, but we didn't discuss this. You just said yourself that you don't believe this article.
Women are treated inferior and are...
They are not treated inferior. Just say, like, for example, if a woman has to stay at home to take care of children, doesn't mean that she is inferior. Women have different roles to play.
Anyway.
But everyone has an equal opportunity for serving Krishna. That is the point to note.
I'll bet you don't get many tough kids in Krishna. I bet you get the kind of university dropouts who are a little confused.
Well, I think you'll be surprised.
And have been through drugs.
Are you telling me the university graduates are not confused?
Oh, they're confused, but the more confused ones join Krishna.
I think the more education you acquire, the more confused you get. In fact, there was an article in the papers yesterday which said that all these professionals are becoming unemployed, really don't know what to do with themselves.
Okay,
so here you have people who have education and experience, and they're confused. They don't know what to do when they become unemployed.
Gopal, you're almost too good to be true. How many times have people been deprogrammed to get rid of this chanting hypnotism with which you infect their poor little brains?
Well, not too many have been deprogrammed, because the reality is, even when they do get deprogrammed, they always end up coming back to the Hare Krishnas, the children, or the...
What age must they be before you will accept them in one of your communes?
Whatever the minimum age of the law of that country is. We do not let anybody come unless he fulfills the minimum legal requirement of that country.
Does he have to bring money?
No, he doesn't.
Gopal, I was determined not to shout at you this morning, and I'm not going to shout at you. I just don't like your sect or your cult.
Well, first of all, we are not a cult. A cult is defined as a group in which one personality is the leader, which is not based upon any bona fide religious scriptures. The Krishna conscious movement follows the Vedic texts, which are the oldest known scriptures to mankind. The roots of this religion trace back 5,000 years, and there are millions of Hindus around the world who follow the same beliefs that we do.
Are you all Hindus? If
Well,
one is a Krishna, is one a Hindu?
Our beliefs are very similar, yes.
But that means that all these guys who with the white faces and the cropped hair are all Hindus?
Our beliefs are the same.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Jack.
Morning.
I'd like to ask this gentleman who's teaching his children. I noticed that on the streets there are a lot of young kids doing their little dance with their parents. I suppose they are. Who's putting them through the education system?
We have our own system of education, which has been developed after a great deal of research. And in fact, we found our children to be able to read and write and speak better than these children of other
your
schools.
children do not go to the public schools, is that correct?
We have our own schools.
You have your own schools?
Yes.
You pay for yourself?
Yes, we've developed our own curriculum.
Okay.
We pay for ourselves, we teach ourselves, and the proof is that our kids can read and write and speak better than they're 3 to 4 years ahead of
Is your
children.
school system approved by the government?
Any group, no matter how weird or offbeat, can register a school with the BC government, and they can't refuse to approve it. Do you know that? That's a fact anyway, even if you didn't know it. Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I'd like to ask the Gopal Krishna. I've seen the chanting in the park, and I must say I really like it. I've received some of their magazines and their books, and I've read them. Sometimes I have a hard time understanding some of them, but it seems to me that they really have something to offer society from what they do and what they write. I was wondering if Gopal could tell me what they think they can do for society, and I would like to wish them the best of luck, actually. I think it takes a lot of guts.
Thank you, ma'am. That's a favorable call. We don't need to dwell on it too much.
Well, I can just tell them what we can do for society. For the society, we are giving them education which no other institution is giving. Actually, our institution is an institution where we are imparting the highest education, that is spiritual education.
You say.
Everyone says that.
No, I don't say it.
Because you haven't taken the time to understand
I know what it.
You are trying to understand us from a
distance. The Western world. I watch
you
some
are trying
garbage.
to understand us from a distance. But if you come closer to understand us, you'll also say the same thing.
I watched a special the other night about all your strange cults from India and all the rest of it, and there were
But
all
you
these.
should know what is the meaning of a cult.
A cult is a place where people don't have a free will.
How do you say we don't have a free will?
Because
if somebody doesn't want to stay in a temple, he is free to walk out.
You will forgive this sardonic remark, but I don't see anyone having a free will who walks around in a saffron robe, lives in poverty, not allowed to eat meat, women regarded as inferior, and lives at the kind of low end of the totem pole.
He doesn't live at the low. In fact, he is living at the high end. Therefore, the devotees of Hare Krishna are always happy. Whereas you have to take shelter of meat, drugs, illicit sex, gambling to
Are
be
you
happy.
accusing me? Please, Gopal, I will accept your apology.
Well,
Yes, I will.
we're talking in general.
That's
Okay.
Goodness gracious me. A man of your couth embarrassing a 64-year-old.
No, we're talking in general.
Gopal, really? Go ahead, please. You're making me blush. For the first time in 50 years. Go ahead. Hare Krishna. Would you let parents come and take their kids away?
In fact, you'll be amazed how many parents visit their children on a regular basis. In fact, we encourage our children, our members, to write to their parents.
Okay. You've got 30 seconds to brainwash me to become a Krishna.
You only have
30 seconds.
Our request is the human form of life has a purpose. The purpose is to establish a relationship with God. Establishing our relationship with God has to be based on some scriptures. higher than this
Fair
garment
enough,
is the
but you
garment
don't
of...
have to work. If I become a Krishna, I don't have to dirty my hands
You do have to
fixing
do it.
automobiles or working for a living.
You do have to. In fact, we have many mechanics who are Hare Krishnas.
Gopal, Krishna, Goswami, I shall look forward to the future in Vancouver where there will be no begging on the streets by Krishnas and nobody jamming up the Hudson Bay corner.
Well, I can assure you that whoever hears the chanting benefits spiritually, and the glorification of the Lord should be encouraged. This country was founded on the premise that everything is coming from God. So we are glorifying God in public, and the media should encourage it.
My thanks to Gopal, Krishna, Goswami, and I'll be back with reality and unemployment and people who work for a living or want to work for a living for the society after the break.
With their incessant chanting, shaved heads, and saffron robes, the Hare Krishna followers were once an unmistakable presence on the streets of downtown Vancouver. They aroused our interest, and often our anger. But that was more than a decade ago. What has happened to the Krishna movement in the meantime? To help explain this group and its current role in the community, we have Gopal Krishna Goswami, head of the Canadian arm of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and some of its followers. Bob?
Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Vancouver show. And is it Happy New Year for you folks to you?
You can say Hare Krishna. That includes everything.
Hare Krishna includes everything.
Yeah.
But are you operate on the same calendar?
Yeah, we do.
So it is New Year's.
It is.
And do you mark the time in years?
Well, we have to keep track of the time and years, naturally.
So you begin a new year. Would you commonly begin a new year as other people would, with resolutions or ideas for change, for improvement?
Yes, we do. And our resolutions are always to improve our commitment to propagating God consciousness.
Propagating?
Yeah. Propagating and practicing.
Now there's a difference, isn't there, between...
Yeah.
So the practice is evident in your appearance and in the life that you live, but how is the propagation of God consciousness changed in the past few years? Don't see you on the street anymore.
Well, we do. We are on the streets. We are on the streets almost in every city of the world, and we are also preaching to people who come to our temple. We have more and more people coming to our centers. Our congregation is expanding day by day.
So would you folks have been on the streets today? The streets of Vancouver or Burnaby, where your temple, your headquarters, New Westminster, Richmond, would you have been on the streets today?
Yeah.
Have you?
We didn't go out today, no,
but normally you would?
Yeah. Normally we'd go out on a day like this.
Where would you go?
We frequent different areas of the city. The most popular is right downtown, Georgia and Granville.
And when you go there, what is your, may I ask the gentleman beside you, what is your motive for going there? Why are you there?
Well, to glorify God and to attract others to the glorification of God.
Is that the motive?
Yes, it certainly is.
How do you attract people?
We attract people by chanting the Lord's holy names.
Which is the chant we're all familiar with.
That's correct.
You certainly have familiarized the Western world with your chant. Is that from repetition, from appearing, sir, in public all the time?
Well, naturally, just like you have commercials on the TV, the more you repeat a commercial, the more the consumer becomes aware of the product you're featuring. So the more we chant, the more often people hear it, the greater interest they take in it, the more they read our literature, the more they come to our centers. Day by day, we're opening more and more centers around the world. We have over 200 centers around the world today.
Is what you're propagating, though, may I ask you, is what you're propagating a simple truth, a truth simple enough that you could tell it to me now? God consciousness?
Yes. God consciousness is dormant within everyone's heart. The chanting of Hare Krishna awakens that God consciousness that's within the heart of every living being.
So it is there, it's within me,
yes,
but dormant within me.
Yes.
And perhaps I wouldn't have stumbled, broken my foot if I had been more conscious. Or is that a silly analogy? That this kind of mundane, day-to-day, lifetime accident...
This can be attributed to what is called the law of karma.
The law of
For
karma.
every action, there's a reaction.
Is this bad karma then on my part, sir, that I would break my foot on a holiday?
Yes, you could call that bad karma.
Why? What is being visited upon?
Because it caused you suffering, therefore it's bad. We would understand that it could be a reaction to something that you did in a previous lifetime or in this lifetime. Maybe you kicked someone and you got a reaction for your foot.
I see. Yeah.
But we would also see it in this way. We would also see that it would remind us, actually last year, just about this time, I did something similar to my knee, so I can sympathize with you. But it would remind us that this material body has a great capacity for suffering, and it would remind us that we should concentrate on spiritual activities and hoping to, when we, at the time of death, get a spiritual body which isn't subject to breaking the foot.
Purely spiritual activity then in this life, in the physical. Then should one attempt to detach one's consciousness from the body?
One should attach his consciousness with God. One must understand the purpose of human life. One must recognize that everything is coming from God, and human life has a purpose, and the purpose of human life is to serve Lord. Now this doesn't mean that you have to withdraw to the forest or the mountains. One can live in the city and still glorify God as the members of a society are. We have members in all walks of life. We have professionals, and we have monks who do full-time propagation.
Are you folks then monks? Is it important to shave your head?
No,
robe?
We have many people who have hair. In fact, there's one of our members sitting in the corner over there. He's a part of a congregation. He has hair. Only those who dedicate themselves to full-time propagation shave their heads.
Why did you choose the full-time propagation?
I chose the full-time in Krishna consciousness because it became more fulfilling. The whole idea is to dedicate one's life as much as possible, but if one can dedicate one's life fully to propagating Krishna consciousness, then that is very nice. We look at it as the highest welfare activity.
To be honest, when I stopped doing that and started working in an evening television program, physically I felt better. Again, is that a problem with my, is it karma that I would feel bad getting up in the morning?
Well, if you want to get up in the morning to glorify God, because morning is the most auspicious moment for having a clearer thinking, then it's okay. But if you're getting up in the morning just to go to the factory or a radio station, it's not the same purpose.
Do you kids like the mornings, early morning? Do you get up and laugh? You're smiling. Do you laugh in the mornings?
Yeah.
What do you do first thing in the morning? What do you do first thing in the morning?
Well, we wake up and then we go to the first worship ceremony.
Before you eat? Yeah. Do you play?
Yes.
They were playing soccer this afternoon.
Who won? Or do you have principles of competition? Do you have them compete?
Friendly competition.
Friendly competition? Are you happy?
Yes.
Are you? You're very pretty. What is that you have in your hand? I've just come back.
Garland for you.
That's a garland for me?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, thank you very much. That's it sure smells beautiful, too. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to go to a commercial break and come back. I wish you could smell this garland. It smells just like a lei from Hawaii, maybe even more beautiful. We'll be right back. Thank you. Gopal Krishna Goswami. Proper pronunciation of your name?
Yeah, that's okay.
Why is this garland of flowers more pleasant to smell, say, than a lei that I would receive at an airport in Hawaii?
Well, one thing is this has been offered to Krishna, and the garland has been made by the devotees of Krishna, and because it has been prepared with love, everything tastes and looks a lot better.
Is diet then connected to your spiritual consciousness?
It is, because a man is known by the food he eats, as they say in the English language. So the food we eat contributes to the consciousness we develop. Therefore, we abstain from certain sinful activities, including certain sinful diet. Like we abstain from eating meat, fish, or eggs. We abstain from taking intoxication. We abstain from gambling, and we abstain from illicit sex life, because these four, when indulgent, form the principles or the basis of sinful life. And if one wants to try and understand God, who is defined to be the purest person, one also has to become pure. And there's no question of becoming pure unless one abstains from sinful activities.
But all of this which is available in the modern world, all the attributes of life, including sex for pleasure, for example, one could say, and we've talked to other people of other religious calling, who've said it's available, it's a pleasure, it's God-given, it's to be enjoyed. And it's almost a duty to pursue pleasure in that sense. What's your...
Well, we are also hankering after pleasure. But our pleasure is something permanent, and we have discovered a higher taste. It is not that our members have not experienced indulging in activities that you maybe or the others are indulging in. But we've tried everything, and now we've also had the fortune of experiencing what is known as spiritual pleasure. And after comparing the two, the conclusion is that spiritual pleasure is far better. The problem is that you have not tasted spiritual pleasure
But are you sure I haven't?
Well, majority of the people haven't. Therefore, they say that material pleasure is higher than spiritual pleasure. But if one has tasted both, then he will conclude that spiritual pleasure is on a higher platform.
Are you a missionary here in the North American culture in a city? Are you a missionary?
Yeah.
Do you feel called to perform a mission among people like myself that perhaps haven't experienced this spiritual pleasure?
Of course, when you have something that's very beautiful or something that you treasure, then automatically you want to share it with someone. If you cook a meal, it's much more fun to share it with someone than to eat it yourself. God consciousness gives such a pleasure, and you derive such satisfaction. And like Gopal Krishna was saying, we've all experienced so many different pleasures, drinking pleasure, sex pleasure, drug pleasure, but still we gave it up because we wanted the highest taste, and the highest taste is Krishna consciousness.
I understand, though, that one of the teachings of Krishna consciousness is an inequality between men and women. Is that true?
If you see people as men and women, there'll always be inequalities. There's inequalities between animals and humans, but still the soul is pure, and there's a difference between the soul and the body. My soul is the same as, I have a spirit soul, you have a spirit soul. I have a woman body, you have a man body. As long as we're entrapped in these bodies, then we'll never achieve real God realization. But real liberation means understanding we're a spirit soul.
Are you a novitiate in this religion?
Not yet.
You're studying it to enter?
Well, I'm attracted very strongly, so I do the best that I can with what I have now.
Were you aware 10 years ago of...
Yes.
What changed your mind now to attract you?
It's always been there, but I'm just slow.
You've always been interested?
Yes.
Fascinated?
Yes.
Had you been to a feast, accepted an invitation to the temple before?
Not until this summer's Rath Yatra festival, which is really something beautiful that the Krishna people do for the city of Vancouver.
The Festival of the Chariots. Yes.
Did you attend it last year?
I saw it, yes. I don't know if I would say I attended it. I stand back like probably most people in this culture and watch in wonderment often. Sometimes there was antagonism. Has that changed, have you found?
It has. We can see day by day people are appreciating this movement. It's just a question of taking the time to understand
Well,
it.
is it an appreciation or a tolerance and an acceptance?
I would say appreciation and also tolerance. More and more people are appreciating it, more and more people are tolerating it, less and less people are fault-finding or criticizing.
Do you give over all of your personal life, your belongings, your material, your income if you live outside?
It's on a voluntary basis. If somebody wants to, he can. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to.
How many people drop out?
I would say very small. The percentage of people dropping out is very small.
About in the first year, most people drop out in the first year who are going to drop out. Would that be your experience?
Yes. After an initial period of, say, a year, then people usually have decided whether they like it or they can perform the austerity that's involved, and they usually stay after that.
Perform the austerity. It's a dedication. It's a monkish or an ascetic type of dedication. Commitment. Requires a commitment. Are you young people committed? That's a silly question because I'm sure you are. You are, aren't you? Are you? What is your commitment? What is it to?
I like Krishna consciousness.
You go to school at the temple? Yes. Were you playing soccer today?
No.
Oh, do the girls play soccer as well? No?
No.
What do you... Those look like deep-fried something, but they're not, I bet.
Yeah.
What are you holding in your laps?
Well, they're called samosas. They're Indian preparation.
Samosas.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like you to do now as we go to a commercial break? We're going to have some music after this commercial break, electric music. But I would like it if you would chant for us. Most people are familiar with your chant. Would you chant for us to a commercial break? Thank you all very much for being here. Happy New Year to you. Thank you.
Goswami Maharaj's Vyasa Puja Maha Mahotsav ki Jai. So we would like to welcome all the devotees here, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, all the Maharajas and all the assembled devotees who have taken out some time and desire to come here to attend this program. So after the lecture, now we will invite different devotees to speak. First of all, we would like to invite His Grace Panchagauda Prabhu to come on the stage and share his memories with... Yes. His Grace Panchagauda Prabhu ki Jai.
ये लगेगा स्टेज पे? वहाँ पर माइक देना पड़ेगा। हाँ लग रहा है।
No, अगर give me different.
अरे भैया तुम शांति रखो ना, इसमें कुछ ये कर रहे हो, लेके जा रहे हो ना माइक। ऑन करो।
इसको भी बंद कर।
हाँ, जब काम नहीं है उसको बंद करो। वही दे दो क्यों कर रहे हो? कर रहा है ना यार।
Sit down? Yeah. No, stand. Hare Krishna. We're very fortunate that we can actually celebrate such an auspicious day right here in Krishna Balaram Mandir ki. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he also had a love for Vrindavan, but to speak of Krishna Balaram Mandir. And we saw his youthful energy in those interviews, how he was energetic, very self-confident, very much convinced of the philosophy and science of Krishna consciousness, and also being educated in the world with a couple of master's degrees and many languages. But in the early days, he was very eager to serve Srila Prabhupada. And he went to Russia to do the book fair. And whenever Prabhupada and Gopal Krishna Maharaj were together, they would be discussing printing books, more books, and also very fortunate that such a, how do you say, enthusiastic personality, being able to speak Hindi, I think you speak French too? French, English. So at any rate, I saw Gopal Krishna Maharaj many times in the past, but back in '93, when I moved to Vrindavan with my family, he encouraged or kind of forced me to be involved here. He said, no, you should help Kadambakana Maharaj. So I'm very grateful that just like when Prabhupada talks about his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, or how he was coming in his dream that you take sannyas and you preach this message, and Prabhupada felt horrified, but he was very thankful to be pushed by the spiritual energy, Guru Parampara. So I felt that Gopal Krishna Maharaj was instrumental to help develop this whole Krishna Balaram Mandir, what to speak of the multiple projects throughout the world, Canada, I mean, practically every single country. He was traveling, preaching. We've heard so much beautiful glorification of a Vaishnav's dedication. And this is his glory, that he was always fixed on Srila Prabhupada, the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, and also the standards and the mood. Because Srila Prabhupada, in his lectures, conversations, walks, all his books, so much is there based on science, based on logic and reason, philosophy. We're hearing that religion without philosophy is fanaticism. Philosophy without religion is mental speculation. And these are all, in the same way, being preached by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Who's coming in? Acha. Jai. Radha Govinda Maharaj ki. So Maharaj, he's very much a leader still with us, because you can see how much his disciples and followers are dedicated to pushing on the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Wherever Maharaj would go, he had a personal relationship with all the devotees. And this is how Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada was very personable. He inspired the devotees by his love and care. So this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to remember this Krishna Shakti Vinana Hetara Pravartanat, that one cannot preach Krishna consciousness unless he's empowered by the Supreme Lord. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj was definitely having the Shakti and empowerment to deliver Krishna consciousness and to help inspire and guide the devotees. So I'm very grateful to Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Again in 2009, for a little time, I was coming back and forth, and back again 2009, he offered an opportunity to do further service here in Vrindavan. So as a result, we have a wonderful team of devotees, we have a wonderful congregation, and it's based on the foundation of Srila Prabhupada and also his very dedicated, sincere follower, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Prabhupada would never take credit for himself. He would always give credit to the devotees and to his Guru Maharaj. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj, in the same way, I see that everything, his actions, his words, his behavior, and preaching were geared in order to please Srila Prabhupada and follow in his footsteps. We're Rupanugas, we're Prabhupada-nugas, and this is what we want to further carry out Srila Prabhupada's mission. It's not his mission, he says, this is for his Guru Maharaj, the Guru Parampara. This is authentic science coming down and very carefully being taught. It's not a cheap, sentimental, religious, fanaticism of a cult. Yeah, sometimes we utilize the term cult, but this is the Lord's mission, Krishna's mission. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj did a wonderful example of a faithful, enthusiastic, determined preacher in Krishna consciousness. So if we follow and glorify the Vaishnavas, Mahajano Jainagata Sapanta, then we can also gain spiritual strength. We all have Krishna Bhakti inherent within all of us. We're all chanting, we're all reading, but by getting the blessings of a Vaishnava, by glorifying the Vaishnavas, then that brings out that spiritual energy. So today is an opportunity to hear the glorification of a dedicated follower of Srila Prabhupada, and by hearing it, we all benefit. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj Ki.
Hold up. Oh, this is from Gornitai.
And who's that for?
For Guru Maharaj. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Well, first of all, would like to thank you all for coming.
A little further. There we go.
In the center. I'm not the center. Okay. Of course, today is dedicated for our Guru Maharaj's 80th anniversary Vyasa Puja. And before that, I would like to congratulate one of our God brothers, the dearmost God brother of mine. We took sannyas together about 10 years ago here in Vrindavan Dham. And this only proves that potency of our Guru Maharaj in the disciplic succession. Now it is marked of having His Holiness Bhakti Asrai Vaishnava Swami to be part of the disciplic succession, having taken the oath of the service of being a spiritual master, Diksha Guru in ISKCON. You'll cover them. You'll cover. Why not over there or something? I don't know. It's too big. Okay. Since time immemorial, the conditioned souls has been roaming around the three worlds, upper, lower, and middle planetary system. And they are fortunate enough to meet a bona fide spiritual master, being a representative via media of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And with the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada we receive our Guru Maharaj's mercy and blessings. And also, just recently here in Vrindavan, we have two of our God brothers who also took that role of being a spiritual master. His Holiness Prabodhananda Saraswati Swami and His Holiness Bhakti Asrai Swami Maharaj, Vaishnava Swami Maharaj. So we're very fortunate, this big family, Srila Prabhupada, as it is says that he built a house in which the whole world can live. So the disciplic succession will go on 50 years from now, 30 years from now, or even 20 years from now. Will not be here, or some of us. However, the Guru Parampara will continue on, and would like to congratulate again both of my God brothers, His Holiness Prabodhananda Saraswati Swami and His Holiness Bhakti Asrai Vaishnava Swami, who took, this is a thankless task, to be a spiritual master. It's not an easy thing, it's not a simple thing. To be a spiritual master in ISKCON, especially, plus a sannyasi. Actually, in ISKCON, it is easier. This is my realization. It is easier to become a guru than a sannyasi. But sannyasi, automatically, they're guru of the whole system, varna and ashram. But to take this role of being a Diksha Guru is a big responsibility. It is not so easy. So Srila Prabhupada also, especially, he traveled all over the world 14 times in 12 years. And I traveled with my Guru Maharaj for about 27 years. And it's not so easy. So we should give our heartfelt thanks to both of these sannyasi guru from Vrindavan. So we will continue now, and I would like to ask a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Daivi Shakti Mataji. We're going to go Mataji and Swami and Mataji and Swami. Is that okay? Thank you. Buddha, I have two. Which one to use? Anything? They're both in the same, so you can have that.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti-Vedanta Swamini Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschati Desa Tarine. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj Ki Jai. I would like to share with all of you how Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami was able to fulfill the mission and the vision of Srila Prabhupada here in Vrindavan. Of course, Maharaj was the first disciple of Prabhupada coming from India, 1968, 1969. Then he came to America to serve there in New York. And then in 1974, he came here to India. And Srila Prabhupada immediately assigned him to be the GBC of all of India. Everyone was afraid to be the GBC here. It was too difficult. So from 1974 to 1977, till Srila Prabhupada entered Samadhi, Srila Prabhupada trained Gopal Krishna Maharaj how to manage and guide the devotees, set up the BBT, open so many temples here in India. Now specifically, we'll talk about how Gopal Krishna Maharaj accomplished Prabhupada's mission here in Vrindavan. So immediately after Srila Prabhupada entered Samadhi, the next GBC meeting, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was removed as the All India GBC, and he was allocated only North and West India, and other devotees took over the rest of the country, and we got one single GBC here. Now here in Vrindavan, it wasn't very developed. We were still under construction, and the GBC who came here, he was feeling very victorious. They still had to communicate with Gopal Krishna being in charge of half of India and BBT trustee. And here in Vrindavan, we only had one typewriter. So whoever the new GBC was, they would call the typist to type their letters, and that happened to be me. So although I had nothing to do with management, I got to hear all of the things going on through the typing. So the first letter that our new GBC wrote, he was very proud. He said, "My dear Gopal Krishna," he was still a grihasta, "please accept my foot in your face." And I was horrified. He was joking, of course. He says, "No, you're right. Please accept my humble obeisances." So I could understand that there was intense animosity for some reason. And what was that animosity from? That I couldn't ask. So I waited to find out. This GBC ended up in jail. Next GBC came, he fell down. Next GBC came, he fell down. Then they still weren't, for a short time they allowed Gopal Krishna Maharaj to come back. He started to, because by that time he had been traveling and preaching all over the world. He brought his men from Canada, he brought his men from India, trying to set up nice management. And then they decided, no, we need a committee, 5 GBCs for Vrindavan because it's such a big project. So then the GBCs came. Of course, none of them lived here. They would come once a year, maximum twice a year. And one of them, he explained to me, he said, "I have come here as a GBC because I want to make sure that Gopal Krishna Maharaj does not make this Vrindavan project into an Indian temple with only Indians." So then I understood what their fear was. Because Prabhupada wanted this Vrindavan temple to be the international home of all of his devotees from all over the world. So going further, finally, Gopal Krishna Maharaj came back as GBC. And by that time, he had many well-trained disciples completely dedicated to him. He had opened temples all over India, managing temples all over the world. He had the manpower to set up our Vrindavan temple very expertly. But this we always have to remember, that our Vrindavan temple is the international home of all of the devotees of ISKCON and for the whole world. And therefore we have to maintain this vision that everyone is welcome to serve here, no matter who their guru is, which country they come from, what their background is, white, yellow, red, or black. It doesn't matter. This is Prabhupada's home, and this is exactly how Gopal Krishna Maharaj, in his mature stage, serving so many years here as our GBC, he set up this temple. And as a service to Srila Prabhupada, and as a service to Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who we have all respect for, we have to maintain the international presence of all of the devotees, disciples from around the world, give them an opportunity to serve here, and never reduce the greatness of our Vrindavan temple to just one other Indian temple. No, this is the international center for all of ISKCON. And that's what Gopal Krishna Maharaj strived to maintain. And now going forward, now that we don't have the personal guidance of Gopal Krishna Maharaj anymore, we have to maintain that mentality of open arms, welcoming all the devotees from around the world to serve here, giving them a chance to live and serve in Vrindavan, all side by side, just as Prabhupada envisioned and Gopal Krishna Maharaj carried on throughout his life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mother Daivi Shakti. I would like to call upon Toshan Krishna Prabhu, one of the dearmost disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Yes? Yes. It was a GBC here and with our Guru Maharaj. He told me the other day he met Guru Maharaj 2 years ago. Okay. Just one.
No, no.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So I'm going to begin and end with a fact. And that is what I told Gopal Krishna Maharaj, my dear godbrother, outside of Srila Prabhupada's rooms about 4 years ago. Was walking somewhere along outside the temple, and I saw him. Hello? I saw him. And I paid my obeisances, and I told him, don't you pay yours, but of course he's so humble, he paid his obeisances. And then I just said, I have to tell you that you are my hero. I've never said that to anybody. I've never ever thought I would ever say it to anybody. But it is a fact. It was spontaneous. Because we heard from Srila Prabhupada back in 1974. In 75, I went to the Totemil, is that the correct temple? Was that the street near Bengali market? Small, small. And Prabhupada at that time said, actually, Delhi is not a city, it's many, many colonies. You might have heard this before. Srila Prabhupada said, it is not a city, it is many colonies. And there should be a temple, many, many temples throughout Delhi. And we had this tiny little temple in Totemil, Srila Prabhupada's vision. And I, of little faith, thought back in 74, 75, Prabhupada, we don't even have one temple, really. And you want so many temples? How can that happen? Well, when I came here, I came into Vrindavan a number of times to serve, but in the late 80s, I was right on the Samadhi, somewhere around 87 on. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj was the GBC, and every time he'd come, he'd be excited, and he'd tell me, I'm meeting with the government. We're working on getting a temple near the Baha'i temple, the Lotus. And he was so excited. But he would tell me that year after year, he worked on it with such dedication and patience and determination. And it took until 91 until it was finally awarded, I believe. And so for 5 continuous years, he, at the grind, the slow process of diplomacy, he convinced the government to give that green, what's called green belt or green portion of land to us next to the Baha'i temple. But then so many more temples. And from the perspective of just when we joined the movement, we were told that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission would eventually be spread to every town and village. And we all took it like, yeah, well, eventually. Yeah, sure, eventually, couldn't imagine. But now look at what's happened with internet and phones, mobile phones. The Hare Krishna mantra is available and is being heard in every town and village of the world, even in China. But we also heard that there should be many temples in Delhi, and that almost sounded more difficult. How can there be so many temples? So it's only possible by, as Panchagoda Prabhu said, by this Krishna Shakti is only possible. It's so obvious. It's right in your face. It's not possible unless Gopal Krishna Maharaj had been personally favored by the Lord, empowered by the Lord. And so this is a huge accomplishment. We should never forget. And so he is my hero. Thank you very much. You wouldn't have told it, right? No. Hare Krishna, thank you, Tosan Krishna Prabhu. We'd like to call upon Manjari Mataji to please offer some glorification for Guru Maharaj, being a God sister. One time I was asked by one of our God sisters, so how do we see our Guru Maharaj? He's like eternal form. As far as I can see, after seeing the video, we should see our Guru Maharaj in that enthusiastic, energetic, full of vigor and so much energy. How he preached. We should try to follow in his footsteps. I don't know if you will agree or not, but I would say that is how we should see our Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti-Vedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Vasyajade Shadarane. I also offer my respectful obeisances to Sripad Gopal Krishna Maharaj. I first, when we're seeing this video, then we're seeing Maharaj when he was young, and it reminded me when I first met him in New York. He was a businessman at that time, and he was very serious, I remember especially when he received second initiation. At that time, he was exemplary in his seriousness in chanting his mantras. It was very wonderful. Then again, later on, when we were in Tehran, he came there for a meeting. There was a meeting with a Trey Rishi, and Bhagavan had come from France, and Maharaj, Sripad Gopal Krishna Maharaj came. And they discussed plans that they wanted to present to Srila Prabhupada to centralize the management of ISKCON. And then later, when they went to India and presented this to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada completely did not agree. And he wanted the individual temples to have more autonomy, more independence. And he wanted less centralization. And, the devotees, we were just learning at that time. I think it was in 1975 when this took place. And so Srila Prabhupada had to make it very clear what his vision was. And I was thinking how Gopal Krishna Maharaj took that instruction of Srila Prabhupada and he applied it in all of the temples that he opened. And therefore they're so successful. And here in Vrindavan, later, everybody, we cannot but be impressed with the absolute hard work and diligence, determination that Sripad Gopal Krishna Maharaj exhibited in taking care of this temple and taking care of all the temples and all the devotees. And like Tosan Krishna Prabhu was saying, how for years he repeatedly put forward this proposal to have the temple in Delhi. And also in regards to, he did everything he could to maintain and protect the society, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And one of the things that he did that I'm so grateful for is that he went year after year to the FRO to get them to extend an X visa to foreign devotees. And so finally they did, which was really a great accomplishment. And he did this to protect his society. At the end, it was quite clear that he was very weak. And he would come, and I really wondered, sometimes he looked so weak, I wondered if he should be walking and not in a wheelchair. But he was walking. And then when he would sit on the Vyasa, I was thinking, oh my gosh, is he going to be able to speak? And then he would begin to speak. And he would speak so strongly. So with such insight, with such, what is the word? It's like very clearly, and with no trace of weakness. It was amazing to hear him speak in this regard. So anyway, he was always very kind and gentle to me, and I'm very grateful. And I just have such great respect. And I was just reminded of one verse in this regards. It's a verse that I think of in relation to Prabhupada, but in relation to Sripad Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Yam pravajantam anapeta peta krityam dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo binedus tam sarva bhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. This is the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and Shonaka is offering it to Shukadev Goswami. But he's first saying, he's making the point, no need for the formalities that one can become Krishna conscious in any form of life. That Shukadeva Goswami didn't undergo any of the reformatory processes, but that the disciple it's like you can approach the Guru from any position. This is how I see it. That you can approach the Guru in any way. He's always there for you. And then he says how Vyasadeva was calling out to him in great separation, and only the trees were understanding. It is this separation that brings us closer to our Guru. These feelings of separation. When the Guru is present, there are so many things going on, and you may not appreciate. But in his absence, the remembrance is there and everything comes back. Tam sarva bhuta hridayam munim anatosmi. That this great personality is situated in everyone's heart, and he's hearing all of our prayers. And we always will have this relationship. So, thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
I was just remembering when our Guru Maharaj was here, the last visit that he was here, and Panchagoda Prabhu, along with Shutakirti Prabhu, Panchagoda Prabhu asked, Maharaj, next year is our 50th anniversary. You promise you're going to be here? You promised? And Guru Maharaj just smiling. He didn't say one single word. And I would say he's here right now, and next year, and all the time, as long as Krishna Balaram Mandir is here, is always present, and his presence will be always felt. We'd like to request His Holiness Bhakti-Vigyan Goswami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj and Maharaj. They both play a vital role in Russian preaching program. He's one of the main leaders in Russian Yatra.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. It's a great honor for me to speak in front of all of you. And that's the first Vyasa Puja of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, which we are celebrating without his physical presence. And it's actually very purifying when we are glorifying devotees. I remember one little episode after Mayapur GBC meetings. I was sitting with His Holiness Srila Radhanath Maharaj, and I mentioned Gopal Krishna Maharaj's name, just mentioned. And immediately, just by hearing Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj's name, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj started glorifying him as if he had hundreds of mouths. He was praising him and saying, talking about his qualities. And of course, I kind of replied in my small way about his glories. And after this glorification of a Vaishnava, it was physically, tangibly, we could sense the purification of this process. When we speak about the qualities of a Vaishnava, it's very purifying to the heart. We all have some, tinges of envy and some other problems within our consciousness. But when we really try to appreciate and see the qualities of Vaishnava, the heart becomes purified from these traces of dirt. And of course, so many people already spoke about the glories of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and one of the most outstanding qualities which he had is his tirelessness. It's absolutely amazing how much energy he had, and for me it's 100% clear that the energy which he had is not of the material origin. No material energy can be so inexhaustible. He was as if there is totally inexhaustible source of energy within himself, and he was, running from early morning. Every Mangalarati he was there in the, altar of Shri Radha Shyama Sundara or Radha Partha Sarathi, and then till the late night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, to get up early in the morning. I remember one very funny episode. I had to call him urgently with some emergency in Russia, and it was around probably 9:30 at night when I was calling. And I asked Maharaj, where are you? He said, I'm just driving from Delhi to Chandigarh for Ratha Yatra. So at night he's driving there, and he started chuckling, and he said, I am semi-retired now. It was so funny. He's driving late at night for this engagement, and he says, I'm semi-retired. And we all know what he means when he says semi-retired. It means that he will work, 100 times more than before. And I had, my friends traveling with him in America. Janardhan Maharaj just said that he was traveling with him, and they, they only could do it once, because second time it just didn't work, because it was so difficult, even though they were much younger than him. But one quality which I would like to highlight here is his amazing humility, and at the same time his accommodating nature. When you were now Manjari Devi was speaking about this, how he was kind to her, and I remember at the day of Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj's departure, I met his secretary Madhava Priya in Delhi, and I asked her, how are you? Because I knew her, she helped me a lot in some governmental work and everything. And she started crying, and she said, he was too much kind to me. Very kind of Indian expression. He was too much kind to me. And when I heard this, I told immediately to her, he was too much kind to everyone. His quality of being so accommodating and so kind, and especially at the end of his life, he was always like this. But by the end of his life, this quality became, tangibly sensible. You could sense, how he is just welcoming you. And of course, the Glory of India Delhi Temple, which is his major contribution to ISKCON, is exemplary of being the place of utmost hospitality, but that's the extension of his nature. You know, you could feel that he is just accepting you without any reservations, without anything, you know. He would not see bad qualities in you. Through my long times of associating with him, and there were many difficult situations when we would, had to speak about some difficulties. Never even once I heard even half of the word, not even the word, of some criticism of anyone. He would not criticize anyone. At least I never heard about this. And he would always very kind. And if people would do some nonsense, he would still find some good qualities in them. Of course, when he would, especially when he would, we would be speaking behind his back. But I also seen how once somebody was doing some nonsense in Russia, and was deviating quite heavily. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj, all of a sudden, unexpectedly for me, because I never heard him doing this, all of a sudden he became very strong, and he said, "Krishna will crush you as a bug." And I saw that this man started trembling because he said it with such conviction and such force. So he was like, classical devotee. He was soft like a rose most of the time. So accommodating, so kind, so humble, utterly humble, heartbreakingly humble. But at the same time, when it was necessary, he would apply his force, and he would be very forceful when it's necessary. We saw it in these beautiful videos from Vancouver. In any case, what I want to say is that this kind of ceremony is utmost important, because by hearing the glories of Vaishnava, we purify ourselves and we invoke their presence among us. And I really hope, as Janardhan Maharaj, and I'm sure, yes, that Gopal Krishna Maharaj will be present here, especially when we remember his amazing Vaishnava qualities. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Now, just a little bit of intermission here. Would like to offer new publications from the new Golden Age media publication headed by Sarvasakshi Prabhu. So every year during the Vyasa Puja of our Guru Maharaj, many books will come out from his lectures, and this is just few of them right now. So we're going to offer this to our Guru Maharaj, and I would like to read the different titles. The Vaikuntha Man, Tattva Jignasa, Inquiry about the Absolute Truth, Nitya Seva, A Devotee's Heartbeat, Hari Toshanam, Pleasing the Personality of Godhead, Bhavadiya Vartam, topic related to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the rest are all translated into Hindi. The same titles. Yeah, we offer now to our Guru Maharaj. It's like whenever Srila Prabhupada will meet, Srila Prabhupada will meet our Guru Maharaj, then our Guru Maharaj will say, "Where is the book?" Because he is the main the publishing of Srila Prabhupada's books, the main instrument here in India, the BBT. So whenever Prabhupada will come and our Guru Maharaj will come also to visit him, he will ask, "Where is the book?" And right now here we're offering also different titles for the pleasure of our Guru Maharaj. And we have a stall behind the bookstall for all of these new publications and previous ones. Anyone who's interested, you may also proceed in that way. So I'd like to request Nagapatni Mataji to please offer her glorification to our Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. सब लोग बोलिए Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Omeganatamandasya jananjana salakaya chaksun milatanyena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Now that we're together, it makes me think of how when people go through similar challenging situations, they have something they can bond together closer. So similarly, you've lost your Guru Maharaj as we lost ours many years ago. And so we can deepen our bonds of love. Once, when Srila Prabhupada left, many of us felt orphaned, abandoned, lost. Of course, the movement now, due to personalities like Gopal Krishna Maharaj, is much more stable, much more secure, much more focused. That at that time, we were lost, wondering what we would do. And then I began to see in my God brothers and God sisters, I began to see Srila Prabhupada. I began to see Srila Prabhupada through their dedication. I began to see Srila Prabhupada through their love and their commitment and their compassion. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was definitely such a personality, such a very great personality. He was not an ordinary soul. He must be one of those souls that Srila Prabhupada talked about, that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta sent to help him. Because even as a young devotee, he was understanding concepts so much easier than other people. And one was his understanding of the value of devotees and the importance of treating devotees properly. He had so much compassion. I had witnessed this at one time with a god sister, and he, like Bhakti-yoga Maharaj said, he was so kind. He was so compassionate. It shocked me. But he was a very special soul, very qualified in so many areas. And those qualifications he used to support and extend Krishna consciousness in the world. We can all be grateful for having any association with him at all. Seeing him, I love the references to the Mangal Artik, because he would be there doing Mangal Artik. And even though you could tell physically he was not feeling well, but he was so beyond bodily concepts and so devoted, so much love for Radha Shyama-Sundar and Krishna Balaram. He would be offering Artik with so much devotion. So I want to thank you for having this program, such a beautiful program for him. And continue on with your devotion and your dedication. Don't become distracted by fame, adoration, or distinction. Don't walk around with the video on yourselves. I'm here, I'm doing this. That's just a mosquito on the lap of the Guru. Continue your love and devotion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakori Vaishnavinda ki jai.
Did I surprise you?
We'd like to request Mukunda Datta Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciple, to speak glorifying our Guru Maharaj. And maybe two more I will call, and then we'll have a little bit also of video, 11-minute video. I was there in Guru Maharaj's room when he showed this video to the GBC, his program, because GBC they have a certain time to give a report of all of their accomplishments. So it's 11-minute video.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirantasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Lankhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Chatartaram Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It is a happy occasion. It's a great fortune for me to be able to purify myself by saying a few words about the great achievements and the character and the accomplishments of Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. It would have been such a happy occasion had he been here with us this year. But as we heard already, even though he's not with us, we definitely feel his presence. Cannot not feel his presence anywhere in North India, Vrindavan in particular. And we're so fortunate to have had his association, and we're so fortunate still to have the opportunity to represent his association in our own character to the rest of the world, exactly as he did. We heard from both Bhakti-Vigyan Maharaj previously and Nagapatni Mataji just now, that when we lost Srila Prabhupada in 1977, it was a very different scenario for ISKCON, especially in the Western world. And there was some degree of the chaos that normally accompanies the departure of the Acharya from this material world. I think now, in this circumstance that has been created by Gopal Krishna Maharaj, we're not going to see that at all, because he always took it upon himself to make sure that he trained his disciples and those with whom he was working, and he did so nicely. The people everywhere appreciate the character of devotees such as Janardhan Maharaj and Radha Golokananda Maharaj and so many others. So we're fortunate in that way that Maharaj has had the foresight to extend within each of us a little bit of his own character, and thereby extend his association into the future, even in his physical absence, which we knew it would come. We saw every year he was getting so weak every time. And it's been said by virtually everyone already that he was so exemplary in so many ways, and despite his physical shortcomings, he was still offering arati every day, Mangalarati, in so many ways, he was exemplary and didn't escape my attention. And I also have personal experience of his extreme kindness, which we've also heard from several speakers already today, that just a perfect gentleman, very accomplished preacher. We had in the Western world Rameshwar Swami in the 1970s. He was virtually Mr. BBT. And here in India also, this role was fulfilled by Gopal Krishna Maharaj. We wouldn't have this massive book distribution that we have in India for him. For that alone, we're all so much indebted. But we're very, very fortunate to have had his association and very happy to say a few words in glorification of his wonderful accomplishments and character. And we just are very happy, therefore, to fall at his lotus feet and beg for his blessings on a day like today. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi.
Thank you, Prabhu. We'd like to call upon His Holiness Prabodhananda Saraswati Swami. It's okay. It's okay. You first. And then after this, we will show you the video, like a report to the GBC body by our Guru Maharaj. I think he's one of the last persons that Guru Maharaj met. I remember Guru Maharaj coming from the Samadhi Mandir. He did the Artik, and then he was in the lobby of the Krishna Balaram guest house, and he was asking, "Can I meet you?" And I told him, Guru Maharaj is so tired now. I think he doesn't want to meet anybody. And then he says, "Yes, you can come and see me."
He was a minister in Bihar.
No, he was a minister of Bihar. Hare Krishna.
Cabinet minister.
Cabinet minister. Guru Maharaj can sense he had something very important to say. So I was surprised when Guru Maharaj says, "Yes, you can come and see me."
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Niti Namine Prabhupada Sahityam Jeho Prakashya Bhitiricha Prachara Kitavan Sadhu Bhagavad Padaya Tanama Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschate Desatarini Vanchakalpaduruvescha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So today is a most auspicious day in our life. This is the 80th Vyasa Puja ceremony of my beloved Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Nityalila Pravishta, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So, in beginning days, I was always with Maharaj. When I joined here, like in 83 or 84, I joined here. So I then, from new Bhakta, I was always going to Maharaj with our Bhakta leader at that time, one South American devotee, Chaitanya Dev. She was taking me and he was engaging me with Guru Maharaj menial services. Even those days, there was no, even the bathroom cleaning, even his room cleaning, and all this service, menial service. And in this way, I become very closer and closer to Maharaj. Then Maharaj, those days, Maharaj not sleeping alone in the room because of many incidents happened before. So he was asking, I was sleeping with Maharaj in the room. I was messaging him, right? Then I was sleeping in his feet. Then I wake up in 2 or 2:30. Then I have to, Maharaj told, lock me and go. You should lock me outside and go. Then I go to Brahmachari ashram to take bath, and again I will come 3:30, something. Then I open the door, and again I will help Maharaj in his getting preparation for Mangalarti. So in this way, as long from beginning, as long as I was in Vrindavan in book table for 4 years, 5 years, that time Maharaj was coming from Delhi, and I was always serving him. And Maharaj could not forget a little service you did to him. So even in the last time he visited, just from here he went to Dehradun. Then I was he called me just, he left like 1 o'clock at the night, like 12:15 or 12:30, he called me to his room, half an hour before. So I went there. Then Maharaj told me, so I put your name as an initiating Guru in ISKCON, you must take this responsibility. You are always avoiding taking any responsibility, so you must do this. This is they say, okay. So, because Maharaj is very happy to me, because I was distributed from beginning, I was a book distributor. I was in book table, then I traveling in Sankirtan as a bus leader, TSK leader. Then after a few years, then I was thinking I must learn some kirtan, because we are doing house programs, people are inviting us. So we go to house program, there no one, no mudam player, no kirtan, the kartal player, there no one singing, very difficult to. So I told I have to learn kirtan. Then I just joined in Ahindra Prabhu's kirtan party for 1 year. Maharaj told how much time you need. At least I learned kirtan. I needed 1 year, but I remained there about more than 3.5 years or 4 years. Kirtan party. Then one time Maharaj told me, "You cheating your spiritual master." So I went to Indra Prabhu. I told I cannot go no more in kirtan party. But he was furious. He was shouting. He went to Maharaj. I started quarrel with him. So he told no. So anyhow, Maharaj told, okay, you ask him. We cannot force someone, whatever you want to do. Then I left kirtan party. And again, Maharaj asked me to look after this. Because the temple authority at the time told me, New Bhakta program. So I was looking after New Bhakta program, but since I was a devotee here, I never forgot to go to marathon until 2008, when I was took sannyas. Up to that year, all year I go to marathon. That Maharaj liked. Then he told, okay, so you want to take some responsibility? I want to give you sannyas. Then in 2008, Maharaj gave me sannyas. But I see Maharaj is such a great quality. A little service you do to him, he remember it. He is very rare to find your faults. He always pray. Even his disciples, he has to chastise, but he always tell what is the good quality what you did something. He will remember and tell you, you did this, that. Even when one time he called me and stopped it, he told, why you are worshipping so many deities? You have Salagram, you have Giriraj, you have this Gurita, so many deities, how you preach and trouble? So in this way, he told, this temple authority did not want to do these things. Okay, I stopped. But later, just 1 year or
after, then he himself started keeping salagrams, giriraj, deities, so many deities. Then he told me, I need some salagram. Can you bring some salagram for me? I was also planning to that time to go to Ganduki, Nepal, because Ohindra Prabhu went there. He brought so many shila. So I was getting some enthusiasm to go to Ganduki. Then I went Ganduki. Then he told, I need a charan shila, the lotus feet of the Lord. But then I went and Ganduki and I prayed to Ganduki river. My spiritual master wants this type shilas. Fortunately, I got this charan shila and whatever he wants, the shilas I gave. I have more than about 250 or 300 shilas there, salagrams. And Maharaj every time come, he will take some shilas from there. So anyhow, so Maharaj kept shila, then he asked me to go to Giriraj and bring me a Giriraj shila. I need a Giriraj shila, but it must have lotus footprint of Krishna on that. Fortunately, I also go and I pray to Guru Govardhan, and this is my spiritual master desire, and I got the shila. And that is the Giriraj shila still in Delhi. Maharaj used to show everyone, see this Giriraj shila. It's so smooth. Many people think this is not Giriraj shila, this is like salagram. So smooth, and in his head there is clear footprint. Maharaj saw this shila to many one, to Radharamana, this Padmanabha Goswami, to Varsana, to everywhere. Some people tell this is Krishna shila, this is Krishna's lotus feet. Some are told this is Radharani's lotus feet, like this. So in this Maharaj always engage me. But I marked, when I search shila for Guru Maharaj, I got this shila. But when I search for me, I never got this shilas. So this is only his pure desire that Krishna fulfills. And he just giving credit to someone to making an instrument. So Maharaj is so pure. He had why any books, new books, many times I saw some new books, Mahanidhi Swami books, this book, that I thought, Maharaj will see, he told anything new in these books. Prabhupada told me personally everything in his book. Even nothing to read from, I never read outside books. And he told, you read. He told, I am preaching not by scholarship. My preaching is simplicity and my purity and my by surrendering to Prabhupada, following Prabhupada's words. That is my secret, how I am preaching. Prabhupada's mercy. If you follow Prabhupada strictly, then you get his mercy. And by Prabhupada's mercy, you can preach. He told simplicity, purity. By this I am preaching. This scholarship, I am not such a great scholar. But he always follow Prabhupada very strictly, and he reads Prabhupada books and follow Prabhupada instructions. So this is we have to learn from Guru Maharaj. Unfortunately, we are not so dedicated. That way he was dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. But still, he remembered little service we done, he remembered, and he gave this seva responsibility for this society. So I am begging his mercy in this day, this most auspicious day, just begging his mercy and his mercy of Srila Prabhupada, so I can perform this seva with attention and sincerity. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Thank you, Maharaj. Regarding the deities of Guru Maharaj, in his last will, he says that the deities will be worshipped in Radhaparthasarthi temple and Punjabi Bagh, and it could be distributed in my zones. So I just like to let you know that the Govardhan Shila that Maharaj found for our Guru Maharaj is coming to Vrindavan. There are 5 executors for his last will. Gornitai, his Gornitai deities will be going to Russia. And already the Lakshmi Nishinha Shila, Lakshmi Nishinha deity is now being worshipped in the Lakshmi Nishinha temple in Delhi. And a Nishinha Shila will go to Umapati's temple in Nairobi. And the rest, Hare Krishna, don't ask. We were told to make that announcement today. Is that correct, Vaishnav Maharaj? Yes, he's one of the executors as well. So now, Udabapu, you are ready? Yes, our attention will be going towards that side.
A short presentation on the temples overseen by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, today Hare Krishna has become a household word. Within the world, as we move towards Bharat, there exists a pastime place of Lord Sri Krishna known as Indraprastha, which is now known as Delhi. He mercifully established Dharma. Following in his footsteps, Srila Prabhupada arrived in Delhi in the year 1960. Srila Prabhupada stayed in Sri Sri Radha Vallabh. Hare Krishna. This is a short presentation on the temples overseen by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, today Hare Krishna has become a household word. Within the world, as we move towards Bharat, there exists a pastime place of Lord Sri Krishna known as Indraprastha, which is now known as Delhi. He mercifully established Dharma. Following in his footsteps, Srila Prabhupada arrived in Delhi in the year 1960. Srila Prabhupada stayed in Sri Sri Radha Vallabh temple, located in Chippiwada, New Delhi from 1960 to 1965. In those days, he would travel from Vrindavan to Delhi to print and distribute his Back to Godhead magazine, tolerating heat strokes, indifference of people towards spirituality, financial crisis, callous government officials, non-cooperative and self-absorbed godbrothers, and still, without getting discouraged, Srila Prabhupada continued his preaching work in Delhi. Srila Prabhupada wanted Chippiwada temple to be acquired by ISKCON. It was a struggle to get the property in ISKCON's name. But finally, ISKCON got the property in 2012, and in 2019, a beautifully renovated temple with Sri Sri Radha Vallabh as deities were installed and now blessing the devotees and visitors there. Srila Prabhupada once mentioned that Delhi is most important place in the whole of Asia. Therefore, he had deep spiritual desire to have many temples in Delhi. After effectively sowing the seed of pure bhakti in the Western world, Srila Prabhupada came back to Delhi on 24th July 1967, where thousands of people thronged to welcome him. In November 1971, preaching started in various parts of Delhi, where more than 30,000 people would participate in each program. But preaching grew rapidly in Delhi. First preaching center was in Anand Niketan, where the deities of Sri Sri Radha Parthasarthi, which were brought from Jaipur by Her Grace Yamuna Mataji, were installed. After 10 years of immense hard work by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, ISKCON got the land for the temple. It was a hilly place in South Delhi, which on official papers was mentioned as Govardhan Hill, was allocated to ISKCON, on which a huge, gorgeous temple got constructed and was inaugurated on 5th of April 1998 on the occasion of Ram Navami. This project is also known as the Glory of India project. The inauguration was done by Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was interim Prime Minister of India at that time. and the function was attended by many other political leaders and dignitaries. This temple has remarkable edutaining Vedic Expo, which is a light and sound show showing Bhagavad-Gita and Vedic wisdom in a very animated way, and has been attended by 1.8 million visitors until now. Recently, world's largest Bhagavad-Gita was placed in the Temple Museum, which was inaugurated by Sri Narendra Modi, the glorious Prime Minister of India. ISKCON Delhi is visited by 20,000 visitors every day, and on weekends and festivals, the number rises to 50,000. Throughout the week, array of school buses, groups of dignitaries and tourists from all across the globe arrive in ISKCON Delhi.
Many foreign delegates used to visit the ISKCON Delhi temple, and one of them is Sir Peter John Cosgrove, who was former Governor General of Australia. And through online preaching, we are reaching millions of people. Now on YouTube channel My Ashray, we have 2 million subscribers, and through ISKCON Delhi Facebook page, we have reached 2.2 million people.
In the year 2023, ISKCON Delhi Temple completed 25 years of dedicated service, and Sri Sri Radha Parthasarthi, which were installed by Srila Prabhupada in 1973, completed 50 years of showering grace upon Delhi, for which there was 5-day celebration and was attended by 50,000 devotees and visitors. Due to Srila Prabhupada's austerities and grace, followed by preaching done under the leadership of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, today ISKCON Delhi has expanded with its 17 centers in Delhi NCR. And here goes the list: ISKCON Punjabi Bagh, ISKCON Faridabad, ISKCON Rohini, ISKCON Ghaziabad, ISKCON Dwarka, ISKCON Gurugram Badshapur, ISKCON Gurugram Sector 45, ISKCON Noida, ISKCON Sahibabad, ISKCON Mahipalpur, ISKCON Wave City, ISKCON Panchsheel, ISKCON Bahadurgarh, ISKCON Chhatarpur, ISKCON Chipiwada, ISKCON GK3, ISKCON East Delhi. Around Delhi NCR, total number of congregation devotees has reached the mark of 25,000. Youth devotees 15,000. 100 Namhatta preaching centers along with 80 bases. Annually, there are 7 major Rath Yatras, more than 1,000 Harinams and Nagar Sankirtans, and around 100 festivals. ISKCON Delhi NCR has distributed 1.5 crore Bhagavad-Gitas and approximately 4.75 crores of other books by Srila Prabhupada. During COVID pandemic, ISKCON Delhi NCR distributed 7 crore plates of prasadam during phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. It was widely recognized, and ISKCON set a world record of distributing highest number of plates during the time of emergency. First time drone was used for the distribution of prasadam. ISKCON Delhi arranged for 1,200 beds under COVID care center, where Ayurvedic medicines, healthy prasadam and everyday kirtans cured more than 15,000 patients with no casualty.
And Mr. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, specially glorified this service. There is his part of speech.
ISKCON ने समाज का संबल बनने का काम, कोरोना महामारी में भी आप करोड़ों मरीजों, उनके परिजनों और प्रवासियों के लिए लगातार भोजन और दूसरी जरूरतों की व्यवस्था करते आ रहे हैं। महामारी के अलावा भी लाखों गरीबों के भोजन और सेवा का अनवरत अभियान आपके माध्यम से चलता रहा है।
All media channels, which includes social media, print media and electronic media, covered the whole service. On 2nd September 2021, Government of India under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji released a coin on the occasion of 125th birth anniversary of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, to honor his incomparable contribution to Sanatana Dharma, spreading it all across the globe. On 9th November 2022, Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, inaugurated the extended campus of BGIS, which stands for Bhakti-Vedanta Gurukul and International School. Now we move to Kurukshetra. Another place which was very vital, especially for the preaching of the glories of Bhagavad-Gita, is Kurukshetra, the very place where Lord Krishna spoke Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. As per Vishnu Puran, Kurukshetram Satsangamam Yatra Dharma Sukhanvitam. In Kurukshetra, the holy land where truth is embraced and righteousness prevails, every spot is like a sacred bathing place during a festival among all pilgrimage sites. Srila Prabhupada envisioned preaching and a palatial temple in Kurukshetra in the year 1975. Following in his footsteps, Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj with the help of his disciples, struggled for around 30 years to acquire a piece of land. Srila Prabhupada used to say, we are trying to build an institution in Kurukshetra to invite people all over the world for learning Bhagavad-Gita. Finally, Krishna Arjun Temple, which will have Vedic museum displaying all 18 days of Mahabharat war and graphical depiction of the message of the Bhagavad-Gita, is getting constructed at Kurukshetra. Now let's move to Juhu. ISKCON Juhu was a very challenging project, which Srila Prabhupada very successfully completed in the service of Sri Sri Radha Rasbihari.
Being the zonal secretary of the Juhu project, along with His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, His Grace Bhima Prabhu and His Grace Devaki Nandan Prabhu as zonal secretaries.
Today, ISKCON Juhu is flourishing, bringing devotional service in the lives of so many residents of Mumbai. Mumbai preaching extended to Mira Road, where a beautiful temple got constructed, namely Sri Sri Radha Giridhari Temple.
His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and His Grace Bhima Prabhu as zonal secretary.
Also, there is a temple about to get completed and inaugurated in Kharghar, Navi Mumbai. It is going to be a model temple for implementing Devi Varnashram. Altogether, these temples have 12,000 devotees in congregation, 7,000 youths, 20 centers. They also distributed 500,000 of books last year, in the year 2022. Now let's move to ISKCON Pune NVCC project. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, in association with His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, who is co-GBC for Pune, with the assistance of many dedicated devotees, constructed a beautiful, massive temple for Sri Sri Radha Vrindavan Chandra. One devotee, namely Mr. Banerjee, donated entire temple of Lord Balaji and deities of Lord Balaji worth 1.2 crore by selling his own home. This temple is part of ISKCON Pune and is located in its vicinity. Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, President of India at that time, came to inaugurate the temple. ISKCON Pune has currently around 7,000 devotees in congregation, 500 devotees in youth forum, with 10 centers and 13 bases. Due to everyday Harinam party, they do 700 Harinams and Nagar Sankirtans every year. Now let's move to East Africa.
Preaching in East Africa is expanding in aforementioned regions. Many local devotees are connecting with ISKCON,
which includes Kenya, Burundi, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda and Nairobi. The size of congregation in East Africa is 1,500. Around 400 devotees are connected to youth preaching, with 5 temples and 9 centers. There are 2 farmhouses with 110 cows and with more than 20 acres of land for farming. In the year 2022 and 23, here the devotees distributed more than 46,000 books. Srila Prabhupada faced so many difficulties in preaching Krishna consciousness, yet Srila Prabhupada successfully infused devotional service in the hearts of millions of people. It is Srila Prabhupada's blessings and potency that preaching is expanding in the aforementioned regions. Hare Krishna.
आप कहिए बड़ी छोटी उम्र
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Would like to call on Ganapati Prabhu to please make your offering to Guru Maharaj. One time, I asked Guru Maharaj, which is your favorite deities? And he says, oh, they're all my favorite. And then one time again, I asked him again, which is your favorite deities? You know which one? Krishna Balaram! There are many temples all over the world, but our Krishna Balaram is the most unique, and it is the favorite of our Guru Maharaj and the deities. Hare Krishna.
I must apologize because I can't stand for long.
I'll be here, just in case. You okay?
Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Bhakti-yoga Gopal Krishna Goswami Niramine Vyasa Sahitya Namo Shivaya Krishna Bhagavad Bhakti-yoga Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi. Hare Krishna. This is the first Vyasa Puja day we are celebrating here in Vrindavan without the physical presence of our Maharaj. My association with Guru Maharaj started somewhere in the late 70s, I think it is 1979, November. I was working in some place in Bangalore and I was transferred to Bombay, and we were looking for some accommodation for my mother and sister because they were living with me in Bangalore. So I met one devotee during my flight from Calcutta to Bombay. That was Haridas Prabhu, Bada Haridas Prabhu. And he introduced himself to me and said, during the flight, he asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm working for such a company." It was a multinational company that had 150 companies all around the world. Then I said, "What? You travel a lot?" I said, "Not much, but yes, I do. But I travel to Calcutta, Delhi, Madras, and we had in our companies employees about 7,000 and 14,000 in Madras." So when I was thinking of, then we started talking to each other, and he said, "Why don't you drop in to our temple when you are in Bombay?" During my next visit, I visited Bombay temple and he made me a life member. At that time, in the life member office, someone walked in and he introduced me that this is Giriraj Swami. He's our temple president. I didn't know much about that, but I said, okay. Then Giriraj Swami asked me about my details about who I am and what I'm doing, and after that, after having the deity's darshan, I left. I never knew that I would come back then I was looking for a place to stay in Bombay with my mother and sister, and I took 3 months leave from my company. Haridas Prabhu said, "Why don't you come and stay with us and look for the accommodation elsewhere?" I thought, okay, let me try this also, because Bombay is a very big place. So when I came, Haridas Prabhu gave me a room in the guest house and introduced me to Chitrakara, who had been the director and also in charge of the guest house and the restaurant. And I thought that then my mother liked the temple very much. Then I asked Chitrakara, what is the hierarchy here? Because we have managing directors like that. He said, our temple president is Giriraj Swami, and then we have the regional secretary, and the GBC, that he's the GBC, he's Gopal Krishna Goswami, Gopal Krishna Prabhu. I said, okay. Then 2 days later, Haridas said that Chitrakar wants to see you. And I met him at the reception. I said, why don't you join in the reception? He said, was a receptionist? I said, this is some seva you do. Then I said, okay, reluctantly, but anyway, 3 months, let me try it out. I started, and I said, what about my sister? She's also a graduate and is doing her master's. Oh, he said, okay, then why not? Why didn't you put her in a membership department? Well, somehow we settled. Within 2 days, my sister came back to the reception along with me, and we were working together. Somebody in the reception told me if you want to survive, we had a very old type of telephone board, the card system. I don't know whether any of you have seen because you're all used to this modern techniques. In those days, we were using that very, very old system of pulling out the card and putting in the cards. If somebody wants to speak, there are GS, GK. GS means Giriraj Swami, GK means Gopal. So if you want to survive, whenever there is a light there, buzzer, just plug it in. Remove all the connections. I said, why? It is GK. I said, such a terror? I asked him. No, you want to survive, you got to do it, she told me. And immediately in 10 minutes I got, somebody was on the line. I said, pick it up. I somehow adjusted and then why is the delay? He asked. Somebody at the other end said, I'm sorry, are you new? I said, yes. Anyway, connected. And he came back to the counter and the other important thing you should know is don't go to Gopal Krishna Maharaj's room if he has just finished his conversation with Rameshwar Swami. I said, what is this? Is that another terror? He said, no, don't do that mistake. Wait for half an hour or so. Yeah, I slowly started knowing about that. I never knew that in the meantime, Maharaj was trying to get some information from Chitrakara about my family background, etc. But I never met him. Giriraj Swami, I met him. He was very cool. I mean, he was not that aggressive. He will not ask for his call to be attended to immediately. And then one day, it so happened, Chitrakara said, Gopal Krishna wants to see you. I went there. Then as I said, what you are doing, what's there, is this my company, all. Then finally he said, are you happy with your service? I said, what happy? I went here in the reception, I don't know much about it. Anyway, I'll tell Chitrakara to make you a manager there, so you'll be happy. Then I said, I don't know whether I'm going to continue here. I said, okay, as long as you are here, you'll be the manager there. So, this is the first occasion I met Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And we had, since then, we had many hundreds of meetings after that between 8:30 and 9:30 in the evenings, because every 5 days or 4 days in a week we used to meet in the evening in the balcony of his room. And he would ask me so many questions and he would look around in the balcony and said, oh, this devotee is coming late, Ganapathi, my name was Gopinath that time. Gopinath, you see that he doesn't come late because he has to get up for Mangalarti and all. Because I'm very, very, very friendly with the devotees and all. And since the temple, Krishna was not new to us, to live in a temple was a difficult thing for us. Because by birth, by the age of 10, we were all what we call second initiation, that is done. And we are doing Gayatri because we had come from a background which had, like our Madhva Gauriya Sampradaya, ours was a Madhva Sampradaya. So it was easy to accept Krishna, it was not a difficult thing. But I found the way the people were telling, when I saw the video, this is what we used to see in Bombay many times, this is what Gopala Krishna Prabhu looked like those days. It was a firebrand. He was really tough, so fast. Every time he wants something, everything at fingertips we should have. Slowly, we got together and he made a committee and he said, you become a member of the committee, and he made me a signer, and we had only 4 signers. And then one thing he said was, you should be very careful looking after the devotees. I still remember how he was so careful and dedicated, and he was ensuring that all his god brothers were taken care of. couple of instances I can remember when Satsarup Maharaj came to Bombay. Maharaj called me personally and said, give him the best room possible, put up a sign, do not disturb, Maharaj is writing Prabhupada's Leelamrita. I said, yes, Prabhupada's Leelamrita. Yes, I'll tell you later. You just do that. Okay. When they gave him the best room, and Maharaj stayed there to write the Leelamrita. For 5 months he stayed there. Like that, any senior, in fact, I know 90% of Prabhupada's disciples and 5% of my God brothers. Because at that time, most of them were all Prabhupada's disciples, used to come from all over the world, and we used to get chartered planes from Australia where the devotees used to come. And Maharaj would ensure that everyone is taken care of. Once he told me that I'm getting another very serious sannyasi, take care of him nicely. I said, what's his name? I said, he's from Princeton University, and he's a very nice person. I'll introduce you later on. Then I took care of him nicely. Then at that time, the Guru was Kirtananda Swami. I had a lot of interactions with him because the front desk was the place where you would meet everyone, and everything that goes along in the temple will be known there. They were the first persons to know whether it's a bad or a good thing. So we were a kind of a storehouse for getting information concerning everything, every Mayapur meeting. There was so much of thing going on, so much of thing, this is going to be replaced, GBC. Maharaj said, I'm going to Mayapur. Then, okay, Mayapur. Then one thing was, the person who was very close to me was Parvati's husband, you all know, Prasanatma Prabhu. He was the vice president. He was doing the most of the thing. He used to do the most of the things there. And he's also from South. So we're getting along very well. And he used to tell me what happens in Mayapur. And I've seen Rishi coming back and telling me that after the GBC meeting, he'll spend 15 days in the hospital. And I was thinking, what is happening there in Mayapur? Then I slowly started getting used to that. I thought I would stay for 3 months. My family would stay for 3 months. But we never went back to our place since then, for the past 46 years. Later on, we shifted to Vrindavan. Maharaj brought us from Delhi to Vrindavan in his own vehicle, and he was so kind to us. I cannot express how much he has helped us in many ways, and words fail me. The occasion like this, when we have to glorify the spiritual master, it's very difficult to say even few sentences, because the amount of love, affection he has given to everyone, and especially to our family, we cannot forget. I do not want to take much of your time, but one little thing I would like to share with you is during his last visit to Vrindavan, before his going to Dehradun, Maharaj called me as usual, and we had an hour of talk discussing the various things, and he used to tell me how, see, I'm fit and fine, now I've recovered and all. I was very happy to hear that. Then later on I said, Maharaj, why don't you stay here for a couple of days more? I think this Vrindavan is better for you. He said, no, I've already finished, packed. I have meetings to attend. And all of a sudden he said, I do not know whether he had that kind of, infusion or whatever it is. Ganpati, don't block my rooms anymore. You should use this room for Krishna Seva. He said, why? Why, Maharaj? He said, no, you can give it to them. You start using it. I was surprised, and I came back and I told my sister also, said, maybe Maharaj may be having something. And another thing which happened was, I came back to my room. After some time, my teammate, Abai, came to my room and said, Maharaj, chale gaye abhi. But he was standing for some time near your room. I said, why? He said, I did ask his servant whether he wants to see you. He said, no. He had a long chat with you. Then I remembered that Maharaj was invariably, whenever he was in Vrindavan, before going to Delhi, before leaving Vrindavan, he would definitely drop in to see my mother, as long as she was in that planet, and inquire about her health without fail. Even when I have seen Maharaj doing that every time he visits Vrindavan. This time also, I don't know what made him to stay there for a few minutes, then went back. At that time, everything was looking nice, everything was okay, but when we heard about his departure, we were really shocked. We knew his health was not good, but every time he used to ask me, how is your health, how is your back, how is your sister, how is she doing, how is her sugar, everything he would inquire about, every details. It was so helpful to us, so merciful. I can never forget him. Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai.
You can manage. Light. Thank you, Ganapati Prabhu. Would like to request Narayani Mataji to please come and offer your glorification of Guru Maharaj. Then we will call on His Holiness Bhakti Asrai Vaishnava Swami Maharaj. Usually, when Guru Maharaj will come to Vrindavan, he don't do the artik for Srila Prabhupada at least once a year during Prabhupada's disappearance day. But this time, he did it just before leaving for Dehradun. There's some indication. He's knowing what's going to happen.
Namaste So I came to India in 1972, and I don't remember who the GBC was at that time, but it was very difficult in India to keep GBCs here. Because we had a lot of sannyasis visiting, and they would kind of take over when they came. And at one point, our GBC for India ran away after 2 months and back to his country. So Prabhupada was our GBC for 2 months also. And so then after that, after Prabhupada, I believe it was His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj who finally agreed to be the GBC for India. And it wasn't easy. I know there were some confrontations with him, but he was always very peaceful, and he was able to win the cases. Jai. So I also remember that I was actually based in Calcutta, but sometimes I would visit the Bombay Temple. And I would go to Mangal Arti, and you couldn't go in unless you wrote your name. They would take attendance for the Mangal Arti, and if you didn't come to Mangal Arti, no prasad that day. So I had to write my name too, I was a visitor. And if my name wasn't on the list, no prasad. That was his rule. And he was there doing the Mangal Arti. And I remember the last time, just before I left India here in March, I saw him doing the Mangal Arti, and he could hardly stand up. I don't know how he did it. But every Mangal Arti, he was there. He was the example how to do your sadhana. Very, very inspiring. And I'm happy to see all these books here in front of him, because I remember whenever he would go to see Srila Prabhupada would say, "Where is the book?" He couldn't go to Prabhupada unless he had a new book that he printed. And I am also very grateful to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, because he took very nice care of the ladies in India. And he supported us in our service, and he even gave a room to my god sister Aditya here in Vrindavan, room in the guest house. She served her whole life as a secretary. And he supported me also in teaching VIH, giving class in the temple in Vrindavan, and also at my service as guru, he was supporting me too. And which was very helpful, because it's not easy to do things in India sometimes. But he was always there for me, and so I appreciate that. And I feel like he is the backbone, one of the backbones, of course, Jagtak Maharaj, but he's so amazing, that nobody can compare with his service. So I'm very grateful to be here today and to have had his association. Jai Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindhibhya vacha patitanam pavanabhyo vaishnavabhyo namo. So, as we all know, today the Ekadasi combined with Dwadasi, just after Sri Krishna's appearance day, then Prabhupada appearance day, followed by Guru Maharaj's appearance. And always his Vyasa Puja previously used to be in Delhi, in Mumbai, and then in Delhi. All we used to go Mumbai or Delhi always. But this time I can see such a massive arrangement here. Really proud of looking at such a wonderful arrangement. Thank you for the committees, those who are doing this. Thank you. So, after Guru Maharaj's departure, from that time, many places, many times, many devotees, they glorified his qualities. Yes, as we know, those who are dear to Krishna and those who are dear to Krishna's devotees, their glorification we can hear eternally, and this is very purifying. And Guru Maharaj, Sri Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, as many of you know, that his service attitude, his dedication towards Srila Prabhupada was unparalleled.
in every respect, he is so much surrendered and dedicated to Prabhupada. From the beginning of his spiritual life, he met Prabhupada, and from that day on, he was so much surrendered, sold out. That we can see from the letters Prabhupada has written to him, many ways, many letters, that how much depth, interaction, relation he had with Srila Prabhupada. And then after Prabhupada departure, he became more serious in following his orders.